This is Joe Castiglione, and you're listening to Not Another Sox Podcast. Can you believe it?
Yankees suck! Yankees suck!
Mala noches, amigos. Welcome to another episode of Not Another Sox Podcast. I am Jack Webster here with our producer, Ian Doran, coming at you live from Providence, Rhode Island. Fellas, poop, fart, butt ass?
Which part of what you just said was Spanish?
I think all of it. I think that was flawless Spanish.
I didn't know you spoke Spanish.
See.
See what?
Yeah. See. Yeah.
Yeah. What? See what?
Baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah,
See.
Yeah.
Ah, man, dude. That sucked.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah.
That sucked ass, dude.
And I was so hopeful. And we were on here last week, very excited. And now it's already over.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Was the playoff berth enough for you?
You know, I knew that we probably weren't going to win the World Series this year. Like, my expectations changed so much when Roman Anthony died for our sins. And it would have been nice to have almost like a 2021 situation where, you know, you make it in and then you at least do something. You don't have to win it all. But to have it go the way that it did, especially at the end there, really just makes it such a sour taste in your mouth. And it's better than not making it at all. It's better than collapsing at the end and not having any postseason baseball or, you know, nothing to build on for next year. But, you know, it's not like I'm going to really remember this year kind of like 21 or even like another year where we made the playoffs and didn't win it all or whatever. Like
2003, yep.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But that was a real kick in the fucking penis.
Didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. Disappointing to lose to the Yankees, too,
That's really
right?
what it is.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. Like, if we lost to the Guardians or the Tigers or whoever in the first round, it would have sucked, but it sucks that it's the fucking Yankees. And I wanted them.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, who didn't, right? Are the Yankees a good team?
No, that's the worst part. We really... The Yankees didn't even win that series. We lost that series.
Yeah, we
we
did.
were our own worst enemies. Even in the game that we won, it felt like there was a lot of missed chances in that game too. So it just, you know, a lot of the problems that we had throughout the year shined their head,
Yep.
you know, in terms of bad defense and not a lot of pitching depth and untimely hitting. So if you could put the Red Sox season into one series, it probably would have been that at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Did not feel good.
No.
Do you know what edging is?
Yes.
You do now.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
sure do.
Sure do. Yeah. This used to be a family show. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, this used to be a family show.
This used to be a family show.
Yeah, a family of terribly behaved children.
Yeah.
Train your kids. What went wrong?
Kind of like I was just saying, like, we were our own worst enemy that series.
Yep.
If we just made plays, who knows? We could still be playing right now, as a lot of those games would be at least tied heading into extra innings with their bullpen. There was just a lot more untimely hitting,
Yep.
you know, that we've seen all year. We got maybe one or two hits with runners in actual scoring position. We're fighting back in every game. Didn't score first in any of them. And, you know, it was a battle to get to the Yankees bullpen too. Like, we kind of let their starters go a little deep into games, and, you know, we had some success in game one off of like Bednar and everything, but it almost felt like a little too little too late in a lot of cases. Like it was very annoying to watch a lot of the time.
It was because the Red Sox in particular were quite bad. Quite bad.
Well said.
Yeah, thank you. They almost look like the 2024 and the 2023 and also the 2022 Red Sox.
I would say probably the biggest difference between those teams and this year was at least we had major leaguers being able to fill in at like certain positions. So like obviously we had Christian Campbell that we were starting off with, you know, to start the year, and we had Tristan Casas at first base, and you know, you were hopefully not depending on like a lot of the AAA pitchers, but you know, when like Casas went down last year, we had like no real options. And in this year, you know, you had Abe Toro step up for a bit, and then you had Nate Lowe, Nate Lowe, sorry. I'm you know what? I'm not even gonna need to remember that anymore. So that were like there, and you had Romy Gonzalez at second base, so that at least kept you afloat to the postseason. But you know, when you're starting Nick Sogard and Nate Eden in impactful postseason games, you know, the writing's on the wall a little bit at the same time. Like, but at least like those guys helped get you there, which was not happening in 22 or 23 or 24 when you just had like legit total NPCs out there.
Was it surprising to you that in this series in particular, Nick Sogard and Nate Eaton were some of the most impactful players?
Yeah, and I don't even mean to like insult those guys either.
Of course not.
Yeah, like
of course.
I was even saying last week we'd probably see Nick Sogard start some of the playoff games, and he did, and he actually looked pretty good. He like the moment wasn't too bad or too much for him, and he was able to, you know, actually get guys or like take extra bases and have some timely hits and everything, and looked pretty good on defense. So like, you know, am I depending on Nick Sogard to be that guy next year? That's a conversation
you would
for
be
later.
silly too. Yep.
Yeah, but I don't even remember the question you asked at this point.
If it was surprising to you that Nate Eaton and Nick Sogard were some of the most impactful players on the postseason roster.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem if they are, because you have stars that did not produce, and you had even like role players that didn't really produce either. So when you're depending on like guys like that, you know, it's a tough position to be in when the Yankees have 4 MVPs leading off their game, and you know, their bottom of the lineup isn't great, but like they're still able to kind of like make it work.
Yeah.
And they're still bad.
Yeah, no, they are. Actually, why don't we use that as a beautiful opportunity to get into the fit check and some wonderful hate watching, and then I'd like to revisit it. But
okay. Let's get into some hate watching. So I figured this might be like my one chance to wear this jersey, since I'm trying to collect all 29 MLB teams. There are only 29 of them. So we got the like early 2000s Blue Jays logo here, and I miss this era of like Blue Jays logos. I feel like people didn't like them, and they were very happy when they went back to the throwbacks, but I kind of like just like the black and blue and like the J there at the end. And then on the back here, I'm cheating a little bit, since you might be able to tell it's a minor league logo, so it's not even the actual Rays, or Blue Jays, I should say. But we got a little 32, and I don't know who that might have been for the Dunedin Blue Jays, but on the Major League 32, that's Roy Halladay. So, you know what? I'm going to count this as a Roy Halladay jersey. So, if there's anybody that you want or that I could tolerate a Blue Jays jersey for, it's him. So,
I mean, I tell you the truth. Roy Halladay would probably be on most of my all-time starting pitching rotations.
At least for the 21st century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would definitely have him in there. He was great. Great jersey. Yeah. Why are you wearing a Blue Jays jersey?
Well, you know, I would almost never do that anyways, since I'm not a big fan of the Blue Jays. You know, Canada's whatever.
They're my second least favorite team in the AL East.
Yeah, they're my third least favorite. I hate the Rays even more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Yankees, you know, somehow advanced on a technicality.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they didn't even win. We lost, like I was just saying. But they had to face the Toronto Blue Jays, who fought to the very end, technically had the same record as the Yankees, but, you know, had a better head-to-head against them throughout the year, and, you know, got that first round bye, was able to line up their pitching, and, you know, now they're facing the Yankees in the ALDS. And
How's that going for the Yankees?
well, believe it or not, now that the Yankees have to face an actual competent and full baseball team, it's not going great for them.
Oh, why? What happened?
Yep. They have been getting a little bit of a shellacking, as
Okay.
one might say.
Uh-huh.
They are already down 2-0 in the best of 5 series. So, you know, if there's one, I hate to say I'm going to cheer for the Blue Jays, but I do usually try to cheer for the team that eliminates the Yankees in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes the Red Sox. Not anymore, but which has
why?
been the Red Sox. But it really at this
something
point,
happen?
you know, am I gonna cheer for the Blue Jays if they make it to the World Series or whatever? Probably not. But for this week,
Yep.
right now,
Uh-huh.
I get to cheer for the Blue Jays, and that's unique.
I mean, classic, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? At least the Yankees didn't lose either game by a lot, though.
Well, it was
what?
not quite as nail biters as it was in some of those games against Boston, believe it or not.
Oh, wait, why was it unexciting?
So the Yankees, you know, they tried.
This is a great bit, by the way. Let's
They,
keep
they
going.
tried, like, you know, they gave it their darndest,
Yep.
but they still pooped the bed. And, you know, once you have an actual team that can hit with runners in scoring position and, you know, actually hit a lot of home runs, they started to give up a lot more runs than they did against Boston.
Oh, what's next? You're going to tell me that most of those were home runs off of Dalton Varsho alone?
Yeah, and Vladdy and George Springer and literally everybody in their lineup, it feels like.
Yeah, it kind of feels like watching a Little League game, except one of the teams is like a high school baseball team and the other team is like 6-year-olds.
Yeah, no, it's like in not the Ringer, the bench warmers, when they
Oh.
have the birth certificate saying I am 12. It's kind of like that situation, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? All of you guys against the three of us. All of you. And
That's
us
pretty
three.
much how it has been. And, you know, Aaron Judge is just showing that he's the fakest playoff performer of
Ever.
all time.
Yep.
Yeah, like just most unethical athlete that you're ever going to see in your entire life.
Yeah, and Stanton is coming awake for the first time. Actually, I think he was fine enough for the Yankees this year, but like there's a reason there's a Twitter handle for October Stanton. It's because this is what they pay him for at this point.
Yeah, and you know what? He thought he hit a home run the other day, and it was very funny.
Oh,
And-
did
yeah.
he not?
Yeah, and well,
Okay.
it would have been a lot funnier if we actually hustled and got him out, but yeah.
We'll get him next time.
Yeah.
We were so close. Would it jump off the wall for that one?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Well, glad we did something about that. To revisit like what was surprising about the Red Sox and Yankees series, was it also surprising to you how impactful the rookies on both sides were?
I mean, we knew that the rookies were going to play somewhat of a part in the series for
Yeah.
both sides, too. And on the Red Sox side, you know, it's not the rookies that you were really thinking of that might be up at the beginning of the year, you know. And it's unfortunate that you weren't able to have Roman and Meyer and Campbell kind of at least get that, like, taste of October and everything. At least you got, like, Narvaez in there and... You know, it's Rafaela and Willier's first taste of October baseball, and I think Duran's too. So, like, he at least got some of those guys some, you know, exposure and kind of like what it's like there. But obviously, you know, when you're starting a guy that was in Double-A to begin the year in a winner-take-all game, and the Yankees were too, but
Yep.
it's not what you were expecting. You had a lot of injuries to the rotation this year. You know. And you know, I like Connolly Early a lot, and he was not the problem at all.
He was not.
Yeah.
He was quite good, I
Yeah,
think.
he was good. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was unfortunate that it went the way that it did with the bad defense and everything.
Was there anything else surprising to you, I guess, about the performances? It was surprising to me that we lost game 2 and 3, but what was surprising to you about this series and how this team performed? Who was good, who was bad? Why was that surprising?
I think it was a little surprising when we didn't see Massa to start game 2. Especially he had that big hit in the first game, gave us the lead with that, and it felt like, you did have to face another lefty that day in Carlos Rodon, but it felt like you should have found a place for him because he was your best hitter the last 2 weeks of the season or so. So I think that was surprising for me. And then you see him in game 3 be the only one being able to get hits at all.
Yes.
I think, did we have 2 or 3? We either had 2 or 3 hits that game, and 2 of them were Massa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just not going to get it done. So I was pleasantly surprised by Massa. Like I was saying even last week, he does show up for October or, big moments, whether that's the Japan series or WBC. So I'm not overly surprised by him, but I was surprised that we didn't see more of him, which was a bit unfortunate because maybe things changed then.
Yeah, some of the swing decisions in general, I kind of questioned. Yoshida obviously was very hot and performing very well, and I always wonder some of the platoon situations that they choose on the Red Sox roster, but Yoshida was impactful. Like the rookies and the unusual suspects who were good, and then Yoshida, who is also very good in this series. And you have all your studs and star players and lineup corner pieces, all that, blowing it, just playing so terribly.
I know, and yeah, like I was saying, we lost that series. Like Yankees didn't win.
Yeah, we absolutely lost it. Do you think we would have lost it at Fenway?
Maybe not. Like maybe things play out a little differently. Like you have a ball or two that might, actually get out at Fenway that didn't at Yankee Stadium. So, I think it really does suck that we didn't have any games at Fenway this playoff series. Like, I think that hurts even a little bit more. And I mean, when you had the 1-game wild card in 21, I was so glad that it was at Fenway. I didn't want to have to do that at Yankee Stadium. And I don't think it would have made too much of a difference at the end of the day. So hopefully we get a little bit more of that next year. A lot more of it would be nice at Fenway. So I think maybe it does go a little bit differently, or, you play the game slightly different in that game too, depending on where you're at in the 8th or 9th inning. So it would have been nice, but who knows what would have really happened at the end of the day. But it would have been nice just to play or go see a game at Fenway.
Yeah. In October.
I know.
When it's famously just fucking
we didn't win
awesome
any
in New
games in
England.
October. The only game we won was in September.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I guess we didn't really play a lot of October baseball then.
No,
did
we didn't. Like, and, it's the postseason started earlier this year. Like, literally, we had the wild card game, like, on this date, like, 3 years ago or 4 years ago. So I wish it was starting a little bit later, since it's like 80 degrees right now. It doesn't even feel like October or fall or blah.
Yeah. Global warming is the reason the Red Sox lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Explain that, liberals. Really tough series to watch in general. Who is your LVP? Your least valuable player?
Well, it's hard not to pick Jarren Duran for it.
Okay.
And I have my own opinions on him, and I'm trying to not be biased about it, but yeah, he did not come up at all this series. Like, there was no timely hits at all, some bad defense, lack of hustle even at times. So I think if you're looking at one guy that, if he had a big series, maybe would have turned differently and just did not show up, it would probably be Jarren in this case. I mean, we saw in that second game where, there was a ball in left that you got to catch. Like, I'm sorry, but, it's been spotty defense, a little up and down this whole year there. And it's not like and you saw last year where he was a potential Gold Glove candidate, and somehow that just all went out the door. And that one run ended up costing you the game at the end of the day. And he comes up in, clutch spots later in the game, and he's striking out, just not really putting up competitive at-bats. I think it was Red Sox stats that put it out where he had the most, or the least, playoff contribution, or I'm trying to find, or think of the right actual stat here. Win probability added, sorry. So
Sure.
he had the least amount of win probability added, and that wasn't even counting the defense or the lack of hustle on that staying double that should have been a single or should have been thrown out. So it was a bad look, and I think it kind of encapsulated not only him, but the entire Red Sox just effort in October, really, from guys not named Garrett Crochet.
Yeah, who was phenomenal, and who would have ever guessed that at 7 2/3 innings and 11 strikeouts, it wasn't even the best pitching performance of that series. Short by 1 out and 1 strikeout.
I know. And I said it 2 weeks ago, so this is not me flip-flopping or whatever, but I think the wild card should still be a one-game thing. I don't like the best of 3 for it. I think it, just adds on too many games even, and kind of inspires mediocrity of having a team almost be 500 in the NL, like the Reds make it in. So I missed the one game. Would have obviously worked out well for us, but I even said to some of my coworkers and everything, I would rather face the Yankees in a best of 5 when we can kind of stack up our pitching a little bit more. But yeah, I knew in a best of 3 when you had to depend on rookie in game 3, and Bayo was a little inconsistent in September as well.
Yeah, 30 pitches in his game too. He just
yeah,
did not have it.
And I respect the quick hook.
Yep.
He was getting into trouble. That first inning, he just didn't really have it. But yeah, that when you're having to use your bullpen like that every single day, apart from game 1 where we had to use one guy and that got scary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, even Bayo 30 pitches, you could have seen him maybe if we did advance start again on short rest.
Yep.
So there was that. I think that was also part of the train of thought. But yeah, when you're depending on a rookie to save your season in game 3, you're in a tough position.
Yeah, you definitely are. I think Garrett Whitlock actually threw more pitches than Brian
He
Bayo
did. Yeah, he threw almost another start for him again.
Yeah, exactly. What did he throw? 50 pitches, right?
Yeah, and he was put in a tough spot. He's been your guy in that 8th inning all year, but you could kind of tell even not so many about outs or whatever, but once he started to get to 35, 40 pitches, you could see the stuff start to flatten out a little bit. And especially with some lefties coming up there. Yeah, he obviously burned Chapman the night before, but maybe that's a case where you do just be hey, Peyton Tolley, just throw 100 to Stan and Austin
right,
Wells.
spam the fastball. Yeah, but to his credit, Whitlock pitched really well. Even when he was getting outs 4 and 5 and he was up to 30, 40 pitches, he pitched quite well.
Yeah. No, it was just, all 2 outs right there at the end. So gave up a single and then just a double that ricocheted off the wall in a bad way, and they got the lead off of that.
Yeah. I am definitely curious. Obviously, there's a lot of talk around Duran.
Yeah.
I'm curious why Duran stands out as an LVP when, in particular, the outfield was horrible.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, the outfield in general was just bad. This postseason, Willier looked like he was so on the edge of every single at bat and trying to make every single play in right field and cutting off Cedon, and then affecting his route in that 3rd or 4th inning of game 3 as well. So, and then Cedon, he worked some walks. He had some competitive at-bats. That walk in game 1 was the best at-bat I've ever seen from him. And the sentence, like, like 11 or 12 pitch walk, like down 0-2, battled back. I was very like, be like, okay, like maybe we're turning a little bit of a corner, and then it was just nothing after that. So, yeah, the entire outfield just kind of pooped the bed. Ref Snyder wasn't able to hit any lefties. Nadine,
anything at
yeah,
all.
Nadine needed to score on that error from Jazz Chisholm, or it ended up being Ben Rice. That would have also tied the game. So just that's on more Kyle Hudson. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm not even blaming. Like when you look at the video, like of course, like Nate, when your base coach tells you to hold up, you're gonna do that most of the time. So
Yeah, I mean, that's your boss, right? Like, and granted, you could always ignore him and just go anyway. But if
you
your
depend on him. Yeah,
you do. If your third base coach tells you not to run, then you're not going to run. And ultimately, I think that cost us the game. Just a poor decision.
There's like 4 or 5 things in game 2.
Yeah.
Game 2 was even way more frustrating than game 3.
Yeah, I agree. Because we had tied it up in game 2, and we were tied leading into late in the game, and then we gave up the lead, and really just
And you
so
knew,
bad.
you just like knew when you gave up that run in the 8th inning, like maybe you get something in the 9th, but it wasn't the guys that you wanted.
Yeah.
I think the game ended like on that Rafaela fly out, which you're hoping maybe could get out of that fucking sandbox of a stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nope, it was just so deflating after that, and you didn't. And I don't know about you, I did not have a good feeling going into game 3. Like
I didn't. I was hopeful, but definitely a lot more anxious that we're putting this on the shoulders of Connolly Early,
Yeah.
who, again, wasn't the problem in Game 3, but once the game started to get away from us, you saw the Red Sox deflate pretty quickly.
Yeah, that game, like he could have easily given up 0 runs that game with like good defense. I mean, yeah, the ball Sadon really should have caught. There was like just some like singles that got through. You had the ball to Nate Lowe that could have been a double play, even at least kept the game at like 1 or 2 runs at the like most, and then maybe you play a little bit differently. You can play a little bit more small ball. But once you were down 4-0 in that game, like it really didn't matter. And you could see the guys pressing in the at-bats and just not being able to get anything together, not being able to work even deep into counts, and just letting this rookie just fucking dominate you. And all the narrative of him being from Massachusetts, and now his Yankees, and now his family's converting, and oh no. I think the fucking dumbest thing that I heard from it is like, yeah, like all these Red Sox accounts were like coming after my mom. And they weren't even doing that. They were just pointing out that his mom on Twitter had Red Sox in her bio, and then she went private. And of course, like, people are going to notice that. We're not making fun of, or we're not like attacking his mom or anything like that. We're just pointing out that, like, yes, you cheered for the Red Sox. Your family did too. And now you have to like just pretend that you're like Yankees all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm also...
It was dumb.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm like, you're going to convert your family of Red Sox fans to Yankees fans. They love you, dude. And I love that for them, and I love that for you. They're not Yankees fans.
Yeah, no, if the Red Sox won that, they would have been like, oh, well, I'm glad you pitched well. Like, I'm glad that, like, you did well for yourself, Cam. Like, but, like, yeah, now we're going to, like, go to games at Fenway in the playoffs. Like, absolute zero respect for that family. He definitely seems like, the son of a police chief. So that definitely, that all adds up. And I don't even mind him like talking shit on Twitter or whatever afterwards. Like, cause if like Connolly earlier, one of our rookies did that after, I would be so fucking ecstatic. So talk your shit. Don't even care about that. But like, don't pretend that like, you're just going to change allegiances like this, like right off the bat. And you can see him mouthing like, fuck Boston, but also I live in Southie during the off season. Like, oh no. Like, yeah.
Yeah, talk your shit unless you're Jazz Chisholm, in which case, shut the fuck up.
But Jazz just says stupid stuff.
Yeah, the only thing that runs faster than Jazz Chisholm is his mouth, unfortunately. He unfortunately, because I hate him because he got a big mouth and also he's not really that good. he was quite impactful in games 2 and 3 in that series when they got him off the bench. And I think that's what I hated to see most, is that we're losing to Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, it was very funny game 1 when he was so upset that he wasn't in the lineup. You know, they got Ahmed Rosario playing second base because he had good numbers against Garrett Crochet, and they were like, well, you know, Garrett Crochet is going to come off or come out of the game eventually, and then but then you have to face another great lefty reliever.
Yep.
And that was scary.
Yeah,
But,
reliever of the year, lefty reliever.
Yeah. So that did not go according to plan, and of course he was being a crybaby in the clubhouse afterwards, like he always is, and like, you know, not talking to the media and super upset, and then of course like went back the next day and was talking so much shit. So he is probably my least favorite Yankee within the last 10 years, since like A-Rod, I think, and it's fitting that they wear the same number.
Oh, really? What number is that? I actually don't know.
13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention to Yankees numbers. I could tell you Roman Anthony and Josh Beckett's number.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Josh Beckett was a dude.
Yeah, no, I miss him. We should have just had him start game 3.
We should have just come out of retirement. Actually, before we go to commercial here, didn't the Seattle Mariners do like a little just like hometown scrimmage practice game and had fans show up? And didn't they have Ichiro?
Yeah,
in the
Ichiro is just like chilling in the outfield, like just making plays. Like he could suit up and probably be better than like
us.
Like half of our outfield this playoff series. Yeah.
Honestly, Ichiro is probably one of those guys where you could look at all the Red Sox podcasts and be like, all right, all of the Red Sox podcasts against Ichiro, and I would put my money on Ichiro.
Yeah, but he could pitch and hit and field. Like it's like that old Sullivan Tire commercial where Pedroia is at every position.
Yeah. Do you think Dustin Pedroia would have made good contributions?
Yeah, no. He was great as our pitching coach in 2018. So there was that.
Was Dustin Pedroia our pitching coach?
Not actually, but he fixed David Price, so he counts as their pitching coach.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The good David Price.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we head to commercial? When we come back, I'd love to talk a little bit more about the outfield. But any
slurp up that Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. All right, let's let's go to commercial. God, I hope it was Mountain Dew.
Yummy Mountain Dew.
Yummy. What's the jingle that you've been using? Oh, we are farmers, but you can't do that with Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's a good one. Did they use an AI chorus in their recent ad campaign? I feel like I always get that stuck in my head.
Oh, like, give me a mountain,
give me a dew.
Yeah, that comes up, like, all the time when I'm listening to the games on the radio, which I was doing today when I was walking the dog, and it was great listening to the Yankees broadcast while, like, Vlad Jr. was hitting grand slams.
Yeah,
that was great, so.
Hitting dingers.
Yeah.
Who's pitching? Today was Max Fried, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Max Fried, so it probably would be Carlos Rodon in Game 3.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. How do you feel at Yankees Files? I guess we'll hear from them.
Yeah, probably
tomorrow.
better than us still.
Yeah. Let's pull up our little comment here from Christy. She seems to remember who you're shouting out commercials. Hi, Christy. Happy to have you. Happy to have you in the chat. So as mentioned before we had gone to commercial, definitely want to explore the Red Sox outfield more because Duran did play quite terribly. And Cedon cost you an out when he forecasted this bunt from 20 yards away.
How can you not get a bunt down there? That was pretty bad. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, no, it was a free out, and like on the first pitch when you give away the bunt and you miss, like of course Cruz is going to place the second pitch in a place where a bunt isn't going to be effective, and then what happens?
Yeah, just popped it up, didn't get it down. And honestly, after the first one, I probably would have taken it off. And I said that in the moment, even, I believe. I was just like, okay, like, you do not have a good read on this guy. Maybe you can just make a productive out, or maybe you get a hit, maybe you work a walk like he's been doing.
Yeah.
So I was not a fan of it there. But yeah, if you're a guy, like Sadon, he does have some timely hits and he does have a little bit of pop. But if you're an under 300 on base guy, you gotta make sure you at least do the little things like getting the bunt down there. And that could have, who knows, maybe gotten a sac fly after that, or a ground out, and could have completely changed the entire game. So that was another small thing where, lack of fundamentals and lack of just being able to, do the little things right cost us a 1-run game.
Yeah, it absolutely did. Gave away a free out. And I remember exactly what you said, because it was after the first pitch, gave away the bunt, and you were like, all right, you gave away the bunt, and Sadon's one of our hottest hitters. Just let him swing. And then pitch 2, he showed the bunt and
pitch in the
out.
same exact spot.
Yeah.
Like, it was the same exact pitch, and like you gotta be able to identify that. You fuck up the first one, but like you gotta pull back on that one once you see the same exact thing happening again.
Yeah. Did he miss that catch in center field? He did. I'm thinking of the one.
That was game 3.
Yeah, between him and Willier, who I had a problem with.
He was bad.
He was very, very bad. So Sadon, of course, missed that catch, but it was a tough catch.
Yeah.
And
it was a bad route. He should have just taken full direct route to it. But I think that play, I believe it was in game 1 where they almost collided. I think that was in the back of Sadon's mind, and that's on Willier at that point too. Yep. Like, you got to know that like Sadon is just the best defender in baseball.
Yeah,
and Willier's very good too. Probably gonna win his second Gold Glove this year.
Probably,
but that was like lack of fundamentals again, where your center fielder always has priority on that ball.
Yeah,
100%.
And what did the interview came out with Willier, who said that Yankee Stadium was too loud for him to hear.
And why would you even say that?
Yeah,
like,
shut up,
Like,
dude.
even if it's true, but now they're gonna be even louder next time you play there, and they're gonna, every time the ball's hit out to right field or center field, they know to make some noise because they're tuned in. Like, as dumb and stupid as they are sometimes, they hear it all. They know what's going on. It's a lot like Red Sox fans too.
They do. And isn't that the incredible thing about idiots, is that idiots somehow find a way. You can be the smartest, most bulletproof person in the world, and that means nothing to an idiot.
Yeah.
So, Will, you're saying, hey, idiots, the louder you scream, the harder it is for me to play baseball. Joke's on you, dude. They're going to scream even louder.
I know. And Willier, it's a tough position being in, coming off the bench in the playoffs first time. You're facing some tough lefties, but it was just uncompetitive at-bats too.
Yeah.
And it's rough when you only had like a few games to kind of get your timing back coming off the injury. And I'm guessing he's still feeling it a bit too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's definitely not 100%. You could tell with some of the swings, but I think the moment got a bit to him at the same time. I think, he overextended his strike zone, was swinging at a lot of garbage, wanted to play hero, and, hopefully he can use that as a learning opportunity. If we make the playoffs next time, like, just to kind of be a little bit more in the moment and, not have to press or like overthink or anything. And I think that really got to him.
It really did. And what I witnessed on top of all those things is he was responsible for, I think, almost 3 collisions in the outfield.
Yeah.
He was giving up, I don't want to say fully giving up easy outs, but obviously the traffic between him and Sadon caused a lot of that resistance. And then uncompetitive at bats, I think he struck out every single time he went up there.
That sounds right. Or maybe he like put like one pop up in play or something.
Yeah, exactly.
The one play that I did like was in the 9th inning of game 1, where he was able to hold the run at third base in the 9th inning. I believe that was on Jazz, and scoring an insurance run there in that 9th inning also allowed them to not use a pinch runner there, which maybe would have made it a little close. But when you have somebody that you see like all the talent for, of all 3 guys in the outfield, like you see the talent, and then none of them being able to kind of perform there is just very frustrating, when that should have been your strongest, like most consistent part of like the outfielder, the team. Yeah.
Yeah, and all of those guys, like you said, very talented. Wilyer Gold Glover started the year off with just pop after pop and then went silent. Cedon is playing platinum glove defense in center field and has had 3 major clutch hits this year. And Duran was almost a 9-win player in not so distant history. Like, all 3 of these guys showed up and just contributed very little to this team's success.
I know. It's
a big
unfortunate.
sad.
And who knows what might have happened if we had Roman Anthony. Like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
like, I feel like that entire series could have changed. You have him as your leadoff hitter, and maybe you score a few extra runs in like game 2, or just maybe in even game 3, you have more competitive at bats against Cam Schittler. That was an actual mispronunciation, but
got
I'm
his
not
ass.
correcting myself.
Got his ass by accident.
Like, I feel like that really could have made the difference in just one of those games. So, glad we already extended him.
Right.
Going to be here for a while. And, you are going to need to find a spot for him in the outfield this offseason, too. So we'll see how that's a conversation for another day. We got plenty of time to talk about all the offseason moves and everything.
Yeah.
But I think for today, just
Yeah.
focus on how
losing
poopy this
analysis.
was. Yeah.
Yeah. How did Cora do?
I think Cora did a pretty good job. Like I was saying earlier, the one thing I really would have changed is getting more Massa in there. But in game 1, he pulled all the right levers.
Yep.
Like, you were able to extend Crochet and pitch him to 118 or 119 pitches, which I was very big fan of. You saw Yankees fans complain that Fried only threw like 102, which I
Right.
thought was kind of stupid from the fans. I
Yeah,
thought
grow
it was fine from Boone, even as a hater.
Yep.
And then I in the moment I was very happy seeing them bring out Chapman, and you could tell that like he did not have it like that night, and we
Yep.
got very lucky there in the 9th with
Yep.
that. If we lost that game, I would have jumped off a roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But in the other games, he pulled the right levers. It didn't work out. Of course, you do go to Whitlock for 2 innings there, and I was a fan of pulling Bayo early. And then, like, what are you even gonna do in game 3? Like, he can't make the players get hits. Like, the only I would probably say our game plan for that against Cam Schlittler, Shit Hitler,
Yeah.
however you pronounce his name, was terrible. And we have a game planning coordinator.
Yeah.
What do you do here?
What would you say?
What would you say you do here, Jason Veritek?
Yeah.
Other than have your wife be annoying on Twitter.
To be fair, Carlos Narvaez's success at catcher this year, I think Veritek has a big
Yeah,
hand
he
in
has.
that.
Yeah.
But as far as run prevention goes, I see what you're getting at. Like, when are we preventing the runs? When does
Yeah.
that part come in? Yeah, very, very sad to see. There is also a bit of a sickness going around.
Yep.
Do you
Yeah.
think
so-
that impacted the players?
I think it did a little bit. I mean, one of the guys that was impacted, Garrett Crochet, could have fooled me. he looked pretty healthy, throwing 99, 100 miles an hour in late innings there. I did go back and listen to the game 1 on WEI. Not after, like, or I did after, but the day after. So
Yeah.
I was still very just high from that game 1.
Yep.
And like they were even mentioning he looked a little sluggish. You could kind of tell that he wasn't at 100%. Bregman probably wasn't either. So maybe that affected some other guys in there too that we didn't know about. But at the end of the day, it's not an excuse. You can still perform with a little bit of a sniffly nose or whatever.
Yeah.
These guys are all drugged up on something, whether it's
Yeah.
legal or sometimes if you're Yankees, not
Yeah,
so legal.
We're,
but
we're not going to tell. Well,
Yeah.
we'll tell if you're a Yankee, but
Yeah.
not if you're Crochet. Yeah, it seems like the guys were getting sick, but the guys who were,
I was fucking sick watching those
Yeah,
last 2
wow.
games. Yeah.
the guys who we were told were sick. I mean, Trevor Story hit a home run to tie the game in game 2. Like,
Yeah.
He
Our only home run that entire series.
really?
Yeah.
That was their only one?
That was our only one.
Sounds like the story so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great meme, by the way. This is the story of a girl.
We'll use that one for next year. I'm guessing he's back.
I really hope so. And, you know, we won't get too deep into the off season, but I do want to ask you about that because Bregman and Story both have opt-outs. We'll start with Story. Do you think he opts out?
I don't think so. He did have a great rebound year, but there was some inconsistencies, and I think he probably, in his a little bit of an older age, just ends up staying. So, or opts back in. So I'm less worried about that one.
Yeah, I would also love for him to come back based on his performance this year and for the guy he's been to the younger players.
Yeah, I love that he was always doing the story camp and, you know, helping out the young guys and everything. And obviously Bregman is very much like that too. So,
Yep. But you said it. What happens to Alex Bregman in the next month?
You know, I thought it was such a slam dunk that he was going to opt out all year. And it made a lot of sense, even with the injury. But that last month kind of had me, questioning, you know, he could go out there and get multiple years, but probably less annually. So, do you even just want to take another $40 million for the next season and kind of see how things go? I think it's more possible than people think. Probably still opts out, but I think the consensus is we can make something work, whether it's a 4 or 5 year deal and even a little less annually. So I think whether he even opts in or opts out, it's going to be the same result where we try to, you know, extend him for multiple years just to, you know, have him be a little bit of a stable rock in that in that infield and, you know, be a mentor to the young guys too. So I think, you know, they'll both be in our opening day lineup of 2026 one way or another.
Yeah, I would love to give my conspiracy theory on the Bregman opt-out perception, but I first want to ask, in the case that either Bregman or Story do choose to opt out, do you let them? Or do you go after them?
Yeah, I think you still go after them. I mean, you don't have a choice if they opt out. That's their decision, you know?
Of course.
But I think, you know, we still have all the money to play with in the world. We've only been over the tax for 1 year, so you can easily go over again. There's some other holes that you need to fill, but you also have, a lot that you know that you're going to be good for going into next season already, too. So there's only a few gaps that you need, and having those two guys back fills, you know, half of them already. So
Yep.
I think they'll both be back one way or another. But who knows how that's going to go right now, and I'm sure... you know, that affects everything else, obviously.
It definitely does. I think that the Red Sox front office, back office camp, I think the Red Sox office planted the story that if Bregman opts out, they're going to let him.
Yeah.
And, I mean, based on his performance in the last month, he will get offers in free agency, but he might have lost a year on his contract, or he might have lost a few $1 million. He just
I think the injury more than the performance.
Yeah. But I think the Red Sox planted this story so that Bregman will see it, and now Bregman feels the pressure. He's like, "Oh man, I am walking away from $40 million. This camp's not going to come after me if I tell them I'm opting out." So I think they planted it so that the decision falls solely on Bregman if he wants to stay for another $40 million or leave.
And he's a Boris guy, so it's all big song and dance at the end of the day too. But I wish he was another one of those dudes that we just got a random Jeff Passan notification on a Wednesday afternoon, oh, by the way, Alex Bregman, 5-year extension. That would have been pretty cool. Yeah, but I knew that one was a little less likely, and I'm still not worried about it until he reaches true free agency. Even if he does opt out, you still have a little bit of a window there where you're able to negotiate solely. So I'm hoping that we just get that out of the way.
I also hope that. I would love for him to come back next year. I mean, not just as the great player he was at the beginning of the year, but also to stand up as veteran leadership.
Yeah. And if you sign Alex Bregman and then you move Devers to DH and then end up trading him just to let that guy that you replace him with walk, that's when I'm really going to start questioning the direction of, like, what are we doing here?
yeah.
And we don't need to rehash all the Devers stuff, but when you do decide that Bregman's your guy, you got to commit to that when you're trading your other face of the franchise or changing positions for him and everything. So like you gotta, and plus you got all that money off the books. You literally just use that money for Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
Probably even would be even a little less.
Yeah. I think he wants to be here too.
Yeah.
Like, we also heard the stories come out that after losing the wild card series, he was sitting next to his locker longer than any other teammate in uniform, very clearly beaten up by what had just happened. I think he wants to come back, get this team back together, and, like, he's at a taste of blood. He wants to go in for the kill.
Yeah.
I think he wants to come back with the Red Sox next year with Alex Cora and all the rookies and show them how you make it through a playoff series.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I like I said, I'm not overly worried about it yet, but I'm sure it must have been kind of funny from Bregman's point of view, making it with the Red Sox and then seeing the Astros not win the first year. That like Alex Bregman was like their guy all throughout, like, 2017 through 2024, where, like, they had that extended stretch, and the second he leaves, all of a sudden they're bad. So
all of a sudden. But I mean, on the other side of things, didn't the Tigers have one of the larger offers to Alex Bregman?
Yeah, I think they had the most total money at the end of the day.
Yeah. And the Tigers are up 1-0
like over like
so
multiple
far, right?
years, obviously, so less annually, but yeah.
Right. And the Tigers are up in their series currently, aren't they?
Up 1-0, and they got Skubal tonight, so they're a team that I was a little worried, before this, because I was like, oh man, if they beat the Mariners, then they have no chance against the Yankees. Like, they went in stumbling, and obviously that doesn't matter now, and they showed that they can win a playoff series, but I did not want the Yankees to face the Tigers because I feel like that could have gone very bad, but hopefully we don't have to worry about that now.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And I'm just cheering for the Mariners. They seem fun. I like a lot of their pitchers. Julio's cool. Randy's cool. Cal's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got cool guys over there. So I would like if they're able to advance and, make it to their first World Series even.
Yeah, their first one ever?
Yeah, they've never been.
The Mariners or the Tigers? Mariners. Right?
The Mariners, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Mariners have never been to the World Series. They've never won. They've never been.
Didn't they have, like, Randy Johnson and Ken Griffey Jr. and, like, Ichiro all on the same team?
They had, like, 112 win season, and they still have never made it. Yeah.
So if you're hitching your wagon to a team, you like the Mariners.
Yeah, just not even like I think they have the best chance, but I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
I saw a Simpsons meme where it was Frank Grimes in Homer, just like Frank Grimes was the Seattle Mariners, like, you've been to the World Series, and then it was Homer just as the Rockies, like, yeah, you haven't been?
Yeah.
Like, that's literally kind of what it is. And you have another team in the NL, the Brewers, that have also never been to a World Series. So that would be cool if both of those teams went against each other, because one of them would be happy at the end.
So that was my follow-up question, is who your NL team was. But you would love to see a Mariners-Brewers World Series.
Yeah, I'm sure Manfred would be so sad because they're both kind of small market teams.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like that would be fun. Like, they both have great pitching. Like, would be competitive. But it will probably be Dodgers again, since of course it
Los
will be.
Doyers.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the NL race is way more competitive than the AL race.
Yeah,
right
like
now.
you look at the NLDS going on right now, and you're like, these are all better than any potential ALCS matchup. Like Cubs, Brewers, Phillies, Dodgers. Like what's the best case scenario you could get? Like Blue Jays and the Mariners. Like, who cares? Like,
you're right.
It's gonna be an NL team that wins this year, like, hands down.
Yeah, I think everyone on the AL side is an underdog, except maybe the Blue Jays, and that's only if they play a team that isn't the Dodgers.
Yeah, and
the
even
series.
then, like, if the Blue Jays had Bo Bichette, and I think Chris Bassett's hurt, and Jose Barrios is also hurt, and Max Scherzer, I think, was even left off the ALDS roster. Like, if you had all those guys going, I could see it a whole lot more. And of course, they're playing well against a bad team right now. But yeah, like, if they make it, they have a chance, sure. But I think, obviously the favorite would be whoever ends up winning the NL.
Yeah, I think so too, and I like all of the NL teams a lot.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. Even the Reds put up a fight against the Dodgers. Like,
Not really.
It didn't end up going too well, but like there was a moment when the Reds were out ahead of the Dodgers, which you never would have expected in a million years.
I could have seen somewhat of a shock there because you had Hunter Green and Lodolo and Abbott pitching those 3 games and didn't end up working out that way. But
yeah, and obviously we're fans of the Reds by association with Tito managing the team.
That's right. It was. I'm sure that meant a lot for them to just make it and hopefully build off more for next year.
Yeah, and they're a pretty young team over there too, so I think it meant a lot to those guys.
They should trade us one of their pitchers for one of our outfielders.
Who would you want?
I would love Abbott if you could, but yeah.
I also would love
And I think
Abbott.
that's the one that would be most likely to trade. They're not trading Green. They're not trading Chase Burns. Lodolo would also be good, but just probably a little
Brady
step.
Singer's over there.
How did he do this year even?
I think he ended up in the mid-4s. Stuff still looked really good, but obviously guys were hitting off.
I'm going to go ahead and dream bigger, but yeah.
You're going to dream bigger. I do like Brady Singer a lot. I think he's got really great stuff, but Lodolo and Abbott were standouts this year, and I think would be more available than Hunter Green.
Yeah, no, Hunter Green's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's
I would love
untouchable.
Him. Yeah,
I would love to have him here, dude.
Yeah, we should do a whole bunch of pitching in the offseason. We need more pitching.
We should. I'm so excited for some of those offseason
episodes. We'll have a lot of conversations about that, and unfortunately, I wish we had more time in October to not talk about that, but
yep. And obviously, for those that joined us last year, fans of the show, we're going to be doing our nightly coverage of the winter meetings, summaries of
we'll do the superlatives episode again and everything.
Yeah, of course. A lot of crossovers.
We'll run back the classics. We'll have some off-season specials too. I've had some that I have in mind.
Yeah, I have a few good ones written down as well. So a lot to look forward to.
Don Orsillo, please come on the podcast finally.
Don Orsillo?
Yeah, please.
Don Orsillo's coming on the podcast,
please.
Sure?
Yeah. You know what? We're saying it right now. We're guaranteeing it.
Yeah. That seems like a lot of work for a producer to get Don Orsillo.
I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah, you're gonna dream bigger.
Yeah.
Well, in the off season, of course, we are gonna fill some holes. We're definitely looking at another solid starting pitcher. A lot of early conversation about filling the first base hole.
Yeah.
Which I think will be a really interesting conversation in general. I don't think we get Pete Alonso, but I think first base might get a meaningful upgrade from a guy who's
figure
often
it
hurt.
out. Watch it be a total surprise. So
yeah, I mean, isn't that just how Breslow's roster shows up? A total surprise, and then oh my God, this team's playing quite well. Oops. How did that happen?
Do we got a game to end tonight?
Game to end tonight? Off the top of my head, no, I don't have one.
Fine. Yeah, no games. We don't deserve them.
No, we don't deserve games. Quakers meeting has begun. No more laughing, no more fun. If you show your teeth or tongue, you have to pay a forfeit, which I don't know what that means, but starting now.
And
I see your teeth and tongue. You lose. You lose Quakers meeting.
Nah, man.
Yeah, I don't have a game for us tonight, unfortunately. Just really deflated after watching the end of the season.
And I had so much hope after game one. We're the first team ever to lose or to win game one and then blow the next 2 games.
Yeah, wasn't it like 12-0 that the team that wins game one goes on to win the series, and now it's 12-1.
Or like even like 15-1 because the other teams didn't do that. Yeah.
Well, if I was any kind of decent therapist, this is not the game, but it is where we will end tonight. Let's show some gratitude. Who is your MVP? Who played the best in the Red Sox postseason?
it's got to be Garrett Crochet. like,
right?
Who else would it
Not
be?
even
Like,
close.
if you're looking for a hitter, it's probably Massa. But yeah, the playoff MVP has to go to Garrett Crochet.
Yeah, Garrett Crochet. It's not even. Well, no, it's not close. But my second would probably be between Aroldis Chapman and maybe Story, maybe Massa. The second place is a lot closer than the first place.
Yeah, I mean Chapman almost completely pooped it, but you know what? Glad he didn't.
Yeah, but then he was like, "Wait, I can throw 100."
Yeah, like I can throw 102. Let me just do that.
Yeah, good idea. But thank you all for joining us. Stay
Okay,
tuned for
I
a good
love you.
off-season stuff.
Bye. Yep. Okay,
No,
I
I
love
love
you.
you. No, I love you. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Yankees still suck.